Don't have to put up with any unnecessary, unpleasant nonsense from children. One of them came up to me today and I whacked him on the side of the head.
So lately I put on a video where Gabor is accusing Jordan Peterson of spreading promotion of violence towards kids, which is unheard of. So I decided to check it out, find the context. Where did he say it? Where is this wide opinion? You know, there's a lot of content of Jordan Peterson on the internet, a lot of edited shit put out of context. So I can't really rely on it. I wanted to make sure, what did Gabor really mean when he said things which I showed you in the first video? And so I found another longer video where he actually elaborates and explores this matter. We get to hear his further opinion on Jordan Peterson. Just before we start, Peterson can be a little too radical, and Gabor sometimes seems a little bit out of it, like a lot of his message is deeply rooted in truth, but is ultimately kinda unpractical in a real life. So yeah, life's not black and white, we should look somewhere in the middle. It's a short 2-minute video, I suggest you watch it till the end. It starts slow, but it's kinda interesting.
The link to full podcast from which I took the video is below. Props to podcast creators, and let's get to it.
Obvious, ubiquitous, important realities are often the ones hardest to see and talk about.
Wow.
Because we're too close to them, we don't see them. On the surface, this might sound like a cold, banal platitude. In the day-to-day trenches of adult existence, banal platitudes can have life or death importance. Now, Peterson is so close to the patriarchy, and he's so entrenched in his ideology that he cannot see it. It's in the nature of any ideology is that you don't see that it's an ideology. Now, in his book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. Now, that's an interesting title. Because he thinks that the answer to chaos are rules. That's not the antidote to chaos. There was order in Stalin's Russia. You dared not go against it. If you did, you were annihilated. That's a kind of order. There was order in Hitler's Germany. The trains ran on time. You know, the antidote to chaos is not order, it's harmony. Because in chaos, the different parts of a system are working against each other. The answer is not rules that you impose, either from the outside or from the inside. It's to find harmony. How can the different parts to work together? And what's keeping it that way now? To go to one of the rules that Peterson suggests when it comes to anger is that a small child who's angry should be made to sit by themselves until they come back to normal. He also believes that it's okay to hit kids. In fact, he as much says so, that without physical intimidation, you can't be teaching discipline. So his idea of discipline is intimidation. These are typical patriarchal ideological beliefs. Because if you look at matriarchal societies, how they raised children, they didn't intimidate them. They didn't hit them. When they cried, they picked them up. They loved them. And children learn discipline from the inside. Because what's discipline? If you look at the word disciple, Jesus had disciples. Who were the disciples? And why did they follow him? Because they loved him. Why did they love him? Because he loved them. So you get discipline through love, not through intimidation. Peterson's fatal mistake is that he basically believes in an intimidating, hierarchically imposed order. Now, why his followers love him so much? Because a lot of men are hurting in this society. They really are hurting. This culture has deprived men significantly. For example, there used to be real jobs where people had a sense of purpose and belonging and meaning. They may not have been perfect, but they were productive, well-paid jobs. That's been taken away. What's the result? 100,000 overdose deaths in the US last year. Do we think that came from nowhere? That came from the destruction of people's sense of belonging.